All Souls community. How are you today? My name is Mungi, and I'm sure you were expecting my mom, Naomi, but she's asked me to share a reflection with you today, and so I've decided to read from my book, Everyday Ubuntu. The lesson I've chose today is Lesson 7, Choose Hope Over Optimism. When we speak with Ubuntu in mind, the words we choose to utter are important. My grandfather once said the word hope is far more powerful than optimism. Let's look at the definitions of the two. Hope means the feeling of expectation and desire for a particular thing to happen, and a feeling of trust, whereas the meaning of optimism is hopefulness and confidence about the future or success of something. Hope requires trust and having faith. In this context, faith doesn't necessarily have to be of the religious kind. We can have faith in other people or our own abilities, in loved ones, ourselves, our doctors, or our colleagues. Hope means that we haven't given up. It's a sensibility and energy within that informs our lives. We live in hope and hold on to it. Often when people lose hope, it means they have given up completely. Optimism, on the other hand, is a feeling, and feelings come and go. Optimism can change into pessimism when the going gets tough because it is based on circumstances. We don't say where there is life, there is optimism. We say where there is life, there is hope. My grandfather had hope during the worst of the struggle against apartheid. Optimism is more likely to leave a person when they're in the darkest of places, whereas hope is a light that burns bright and keeps us going in the face of adversity. We say don't give up hope, even in the most desperate of situations, because we've all heard stories of defying the odds. We've all seen it happen. It could have been a loved one overcoming a terminal diagnosis, or a previously infertile friend conceiving a baby. We've all watched documentaries of incredible feats of human endurance where survivors refused to give up or people battled for justice. Ubuntu recognizes that life isn't always easy. More realistically, it tells us that even though when we're suffering in the darkness and times are really tough, we are still human and still deserving of light, whoever we are, and if we seek inspirations elsewhere and open our hearts to others, we're much more likely to find it. South Africans spent years of their lives fighting against apartheid, and in the midst of this fight against oppression and injustice, and also because of this fight, their children were kidnapped and killed, their husbands were imprisoned, their families were threatened, and their lives were considered less than that of their lighter complexion countrymen and women. Ubuntu charges us to keep hope alive, the same hope that South Africans held as they fought against apartheid, and the same hope that people hold now as they fight against injustices around the world today. On this day, 26 years ago, all South Africans were able to vote in the first free and fair elections. Today, on this Freedom Day, 26 years later, they celebrate in lockdown. It is not ideal, and it is not desirable, but it is for the safety of all South Africans. Our circumstances can change so quickly for the worse, but also for the better. Nelson Mandela said, "May your choices reflect your hopes, not your fears." And that is what I hope for you today, All Souls community.